So for those that have not had the honor of meeting Matt yet, I'm going to give you all a couple stats. So I think everyone by now, whether you just started this past weekend, past week, couple months ago, couple years ago, or somewhere in between, you've probably heard the name Matt Tuschen. So I'm very excited to hear him speak this morning. I've got my notes ready to go because anytime I get the honor of listening to Matt speak, I know I'm going to definitely increase my recs, my average order, my closing percentage, pretty much every aspect of the business. But inside of the business, just to reel off a few stats for all of you here. So 3 million in career sales. Yeah, not 30,000, not 300,000, $3 million in career sales here. A Rolex winner, and now probably Panerai. So double watch. I know, very exciting. And Standard of Excellence, multiple time winner, 5-time All-American when he was in college as well. And then largest order so far, over $30,000 that one person spent with him. One person. It's not a day, this is not a week, one person as well. So in the business, high level of success. I can talk about multiple 10K, 20K, 30K pushes here. So there's lots of numbers I can share with all of you in the business. Very impressive. But outside the business, one thing I want to highlight about Matt as well is just not only does he maintain a lot of success inside of Cutco, outside of Cutco, bought his first house in 2018 and recently bought his second house as well. Very exciting this year. He also graduated debt free with his bachelor's, so paid his way through school and enjoys traveling, disc golf, spending time with the family. And then I think you'll like this one that I added, Matt, including his equal powerhouse of a fiance who we might get to hear from. I don't know. During push, we'll see, maybe. But Stacy Barton, who is also very famous in our Cutco world. So Matt's going to have the honor of speaking about increasing your average order. So for those that joined yesterday, you heard Ben talk about getting over $1,000 average order. A lot of the tools with your mindset, how you approach a customer. Matt is also going to share some of his mindset as well of selling for the last decade plus here, interacting with customers on demos, service calls, events, business gift orders. Matt kind of does it all in the business, but he's also going to share a little bit on package deals, cookware, flatware, and really just all around how he approaches a customer in his viewpoint. So Matt, I'm very excited to hear from you today, and I will pass things over to you.
Thank you, Lindsay. Really appreciate it. Wow, I kind of forgot my own stat roll for a while, so it's nice to like toot my own horn for a little bit. That's great, but appreciate it. Good morning, champions, guys. I talked with Ben. I heard that he kind of like laid down the foundation of like what it's like to be a Cutco professional. All right, and that's the way I see it myself, as being a Cutco professional. We talked about how no sales don't exist, how to aggressively plant seeds throughout your presentation. And very important is having complete control over who to get in front of by mastering your recommendations before you ever even step through the front door. So your mindset should have shifted in like, I am someone who already has $1,000 average order. That's how you need to look at yourself, right? I'm already that person. And so Ben told me, he's like, hey, they're ready for the next step. So I want to transform more of that mentality into really like tactical execution when you're with the customer in your demo. So my goal here is to answer the ultimate question. All right, I've done everything right. I've qualified the lead. I showed up like a pro. I'm ready to go. I built this awesome buying atmosphere. And then you hit that very first price and objection on your Siggy, your Ulti, your Homemaker, whatever it is you're working on. So if you haven't already, open up your notebooks. Big bold letters. First thing we're doing. A customer's no is not a rejection of Cutco. It's simply the exact moment where they hand you the puzzle piece to custom build what they actually want or need. So again, a customer's no is not a rejection of Cutco. It's not even a rejection of you. That's just the exact moment they hand you the puzzle piece to custom build the order they actually want or need. Do you guys understand that? Does that make sense? Little thumbs up from some of the faces I can see. Cool. Awesome. Sweet. So I want to talk about becoming a creative solution architect while we're in our demos. So the first concept I want to teach you guys customizing, and the power of options. So we're going to get objections all the time. That is our job. I've seen when newer reps hit this price objection on this package or this set or whatever we first showed the client, you freeze, you tense up, you feel like the appointment's like falling apart. You can't act that way. In reality, guys, the customer's just telling you, hey, this current configuration or whatever we're looking at just doesn't fit their routine or their initial budget. So your goal going into these, and one thing I always look out for, we call them like the hero knives or like the customer favorites. When you're doing your demo, you should already know what knives your customers absolutely love. So I'm going to take an easy scenario, right? Ultimate was too much. We cut that out effectively, and we were on a signature set. So we're going through the signature set, and they are obsessed with the cheese knife because it's a great tool and the petite santoku. Now, most people be like, great, I can get this sale and I can sell those two knives because they're their favorites. A champion pivots into a custom block. So really simple. I use my sets for life, lay it down on the table to the homemaker set. And then I give her this phrasing. Something you might want to write down. Mr. Jones, because I work directly with the factory, instead of being stuck to buying a prepackaged set, I have the ability to customize the set and tailor it to your specific needs. Now, it seems like you really like that petite santoku and that cheese knife, but you're not too sure you would use all the other knives that come in the signature set. Is that right? Hey, and that makes total sense. You may not need all of these. So let's look at building a smaller set exclusive to you to make sure you get the tools that you would actually use. We're going to take care of the daily core essentials, swap in some of your favorites, and create that custom set tailored for you. Can I show you how that works? Do you guys get that? Again, all this is doing asking for permission, explaining why we're going to drop down. And the factory direct thing, guys, it's very important. No one can walk into a Williams-Sonoma, a Sur La Table, Macy's, whatever it is. Like, you can't walk into a department store and be like, I like that size set, but I don't really like the pieces that come in it, right? They don't care. It's a set. It's a package. It is what it is. So build that up. We're special. We work directly with the factory. We have the ability to customize it, to tailor it to their specific needs. And then, of course, you already tell them, we're going to get you the daily core essentials, right? So the paring knife, the trimmer, the petite carver, the chef knife, the bread knife, like all the essentials that just come in every set no matter what anyways, they just get them. All we do is swap out the spatula spreader and a butcher knife for a cheese knife and a petite santoku, and then we're selling them a custom homemaker set. Do you guys see the difference there? Who'd rather sell 1800 CPO versus 300 CPO? Everyone, right? Cool. So that's where we need to start higher. You still have the option to drop down, but if they just tell you they only like a couple things, still find a package for them. Because, guys, that's how Cutco is bought in packages and programs. We always want to be able to start higher. Now, the second portion to this is an option A and an option B. So instead, I want the customer's brain to shift, not from, am I buying Cutco today? To, do I want option A or do I prefer option B? You guys with me on that? So then, when you're pricing out that custom homemaker set, throw in a few extras. Hey, what most people do with the set this size is they actually prefer to include the kitchen shears and 3 of our gadgets. So you have the one price of the homemaker set, the customize, right? And then you have the other one with the shears and 3 extra gadgets. Still full price, by the way, because we sell on value, not price. We don't have to discount everything to sell our product. Frankly, it should be worth a lot. It should cost a lot more. So again, giving them those two options, would you rather do your personalized customized set with the 10 tools up top and the 8 table knives? Or would you like to do your set with our customer requested favorites, the shears, the peeler, scoop, can opener, whatever you add on, whatever they've liked, whether it's outdoor knives, anything else. But give them those two options so they have to make a decision on one or two. And write that down. Mrs. Jones, customized set. Option A, here are your tools. Option B, here are your tools plus plus. You guys with me on that so far? Cool. Awesome. Customizing options. Now, I already said it from the beginning. Concept number 2, guys, mastering the objection loop. We're in sales. We are always going to get objections. The people that sell the most are able to effectively and smoothly handle these objections. So I'm going to teach you guys my framework of handling objections and the roadmap. So every single objection you face is packaged a little differently, but no matter what, it always comes down to 2 hidden concerns. It's either too much money or too many pieces. That is it. Any other objection is just bundled differently to say the same thing. So to handle these with absolutely zero pressure on your customer, you have to memorize these 4 steps. So as I want you to write down these 4 letters, big bold print in your notebook. It's going to be C, E, P, S. Now I'm going to open the floor. Does anyone know what the C stands for? You can either type it in the chat, maybe easier. If there's any guesses. I want to test here. Not customize. Good guess. It's not the first thing we do. Not a bad one. It's not control either. Always be closing. Love it. Concern, close, confirm. That's the closest one. So the C I want you guys to write down is clarify. So is what they are saying their actual concern? So clarify. Repeat the concern back to ensure that they feel heard and to isolate the true hurdle that we're actually dealing with. By the way, those of you guys in relationships, this objection loop works for everything, not just in sales. And in general, you should always clarify the question or concern back to whoever you're speaking with. So again, clarify, repeat the concern back to ensure they feel heard and isolate the true hurdle. I'll go through a couple examples here afterwards. E is empathize. Validate their feelings. You want their guard to drop. Hey, that totally makes sense. A lot of people have felt the same way. I see why you would feel that way too. All right, make it make sense. Make them feel good. We don't want to attack them just because they are unsure or uncertain of what they want to do. You have to make them feel good. So validate their feelings so the defense guard drops. Now the P is for permission or ask permission. So just like I did earlier in that example, hey, do you mind if I show you how that works? Can I show you what most of my clients have done? Or if you don't have these stories yet, what most of our clients have done? You can always share stories from the collective. But again, get their explicit buy-in before shifting to a new package. You cannot skip this part. You want it to become the customer's idea that we're finding something that could fit in their budget or have the right number of tools. And then the S is solution. Present a tighter configuration, tailored to their budget and their needs. So again, clarify, empathize, ask permission, offer solution. I'm going to handle 2 main objections that you guys hear all the time during your demos. I need to talk to my spouse. Who's heard that one, right? Most of us, exactly. So, I know we already talked about C5 yesterday, right? And you could be demoing one person. You should have already asked earlier in the demo who does most of the cooking. And does your spouse let you make decisions for the kitchen? So if you didn't get those yesterday, again, make sure you have those down. Who does most of the cooking? Does your spouse let you make decisions for the kitchen? Any objection, we always want to try and pre-handle. If you're getting the same objection all the time, make a note of that. Ask your manager, ask your coworker, reach out to me. I don't care. You want to be able to pre-handle, but you're still going to have some at the end. So if they still drop the spouse objection at the end, use that CEPS loop that I talked about and find out if the real barrier is actually money. So here's an example. Oh, I totally understand, Mrs. Jones. So what you're saying is you're just not comfortable spending this much money without talking to him first. You get a right? Yeah, just clarify. Hey, no worries. That makes total sense. In fact, I wouldn't want you to spend more money than you're comfortable spending because neither of you would be happy about that. Hey, do you mind if I just take a quick second to show you another option that might even be better for you based on what you're telling me? And then deliver the solution, the next best package, right? Whatever it is, the smaller package in your progression sequence, and tailor it so it fits their budget today. Do you see the difference there? And I can give you these notes, but having the tonality, watching it delivered, slow down, lean in, understand, clarify, empathize, ask permission, offer solution. Now, another one. Gosh, one of my favorites. Can I buy just one piece? Like, I only use one knife for everything, right? You guys know these ladies? All this is hey, they're just overwhelmed by pieces. They don't understand yet, and they're retreating to what they know or what they feel is safe. Slow down, use your quality questions. And another easy example I like to use, you guys may have heard it before, but it's the toolbox analogy. If you're talking with the husband, the golf clubs, the ladies, if you need to compare shoes, however you have to do it, but just make it more relatable so they're not retreating, but they understand. So again, you're going to go through that same framework, the CEPS. I'm just going to give you this toolbox analogy so I can move on though. So, Mrs. Jones, you can certainly use one knife for everything. I mean, it's a knife. It's going to do what it's made to do, which is cut. But your knife set is like a toolbox for your kitchen. Each tool is made for certain jobs. And when you use the right tool for the right job, it saves you time. It makes your cooking and cutting a lot easier and more enjoyable. Now, it wouldn't make sense to use a hammer to pound in screws, right? Cool. You guys with me on that? So far, so good? Cool. Gonna keep rolling. Another concept here, guys, quality questions equals quality sales. Write down that formula. Quality questions equals quality sales. So guys, if you want to hire average order, stop pitching at your customers and instead pull them into dialogue with you. You need to master quality questions across 3 major phases. So a few examples I'm going to give you guys, and I have plenty more if you need them. We're going to look at questions that solve, questions that close, and questions that upserve. So before discussing our packages, asking connection questions to uncover emotional frustrations. Couple examples. Mrs. Jones, have you ever struggled with hacking and tearing away at a beautiful meal you spent hours preparing just because your straight edge knives are dull? Have you ever wished you could just toss your knives into the dishwasher without having to worry about the handles cracking or melting? Now, can you imagine what it would be like if you never had to hand wash or replace a kitchen knife ever again for the rest of your life? I love using imagination once. just locking them into what they could have. Next one, questions at close. Just one example here. Again, we're just trying to collaborate with the client. Hey, Mrs. Jones, I just want to make sure we find the perfect configuration for your kitchen. Can I take a quick minute just to show you another option that might even be better for you based on what you're telling me? Right? We want to work with them. Every time I'm with a client, I'm consulting with them. It's me and Mrs. Jones against Cutco, right? How can we get them the best pieces they would use and need at the best price available to them? Last one here is questions at upserve. And you should be upserving every single time. This is how we really increase that average order. Because the first yes is the hardest. You always got to be asking and don't cut yourself short. So they said yes to their customized knife set, right? The demo's not over. Do you ever or do you have questions naturally open the door to a wider product line? So again, the do you ever or the do you have? So now that your cutlery is fully taken care of, do you ever entertain, host social gatherings, or do backyard barbecues? Do you have a heavy duty set of flatware that matches the quality of your home? Or are you still using the mismatched bargain set from when you first got married? So again, do you ever or do you have? Right? Same with cookware, accessories, outdoor knives, everything else, gifts, etc. All in this concept here. All right, last bit, stacking beyond the blades. So this is what we call packaging, right? So I want to cure you guys of something called knife blindness. It's interesting. Write this down in big bold letters. I can write up $1,000 order without putting a single knife on the order. Did you guys get that? I can write up $1,000 order without putting a single knife on the order. Because reps act like the blades are all we make. Hell, in my opinion, the waterless cookware is the best thing we sell. And it's a higher line item than most of the knife sets. Full flatty, well over that $1,000 threshold. You don't just have to stack the knives to hit that $1,000 average. We have all sorts of packages. Hell, you can sell a set of accessories. Every single accessory that we sell is still over $1,000. You have options. Or Cutco owners. You can sell them upgrades, anything else. Guys, there's so many different options. But learn this from Justin Ford. I'm just going to repeat it real quick because it's gold. But the Apple analogy. Some of you guys may have heard it already. But because you've invested in our core knife set, you automatically unlock our secret Cutco Kitchen invitation. It's a lot like Apple. You have your iPhone, which syncs and works seamlessly with your iPad, your MacBook, your Apple Watch, your AirPods. Everything looks sleek, it's innovative, and it all works together intentionally. We've done the exact same thing with the kitchen. Your knives, your flatware, and your cookware all work and are coordinated together beautifully. Except, unlike Apple, you don't have to upgrade your kitchen every 2 years. You invest once, and you're completely done for life. You guys see the difference there? Most of our customers have spent more on their Apple products than they have on their Cutco, or ever could on their Cutco too. Another great example is the BMW. Some of you guys may have heard it as well, right? I know the full kitchen collection is a real investment. Look at it this way. Imagine BMW created a perfect car with a forever maintenance guarantee where they replace the tires, the belts, the hoses for free forever and let you pass it down to your kids. Now, do you think a vehicle like that would be cheap? Absolutely not. But if you can split up the financing to fit your budget and you never had to buy another vehicle again for the rest of your life, wouldn't you do it? Exactly. But BMW doesn't do that. But that is what Cutco's Forever Guarantee does for your kitchen expenses. All right. Last thing, guys. I mentioned it briefly, but this will be it. your posture and your body language. So to cross the finish line here, you have to master your body language during your demos. So how do you drop tension when they're looking at numbers? That's what we're trying to answer. I've done it a few times here already. You lean in, forward slightly. Lower your voice to a quiet, controlled voice. Focused, register to command their attention. Lay your pen flat on the pad and relax. Shake your head, get in with them, hold the space. And again, if they want it, they're hesitant on the investment, remove the pressure. That's where you go back, ask for permission, shift configurations for their needs. Mr. Jones, I want to make sure we find the perfect configuration for your kitchen. Based on what you're telling me, let's take a quick second to look at a custom direction that focuses 100% on the tools you told me you absolutely love, and make sure we get those into your kitchen today. Drop that tension. Direct, collaborative permission to build something that's perfectly balances their needs within their budget. Once they agree, don't keep pitching. You don't tell more stories. You look at them, give them a high five, welcome to the Cutco family. Let's write that up for you. All right, assume the sale. Take the first step and get to work. So, guys, hope this helps. Try to give you the exact demo tactics you need, the scripts, the quality questions, and a little bit to back up that mindset that we have during our demos. You know, a 1K order can be written with the customized set, an upgrade, cookware, flatware, accessories, all sorts of things. Guys, biggest thing I'll say is don't let your customers dictate your results anymore. Stop trying to be an order taker. All right. What last part, Cardi?
It was the one about the custom set for your kitchen that works for you today. The one you just right before you closed off here.
The quote there?
The quote there. I want to hear that. That was gold.
Mrs. Jones, I want to make sure we find the perfect configuration for your kitchen. Based on what you're telling me, let's take a quick second to look at a custom direction that focuses 100% on the tools you told me you absolutely love, and make sure we get those into your kitchen today. So guys, go out there this weekend, go out there this push, go out there this summer and work with your clients in their kitchen. Build their dream sets. Let's get Cutco into every single home in our division this summer. Thank you guys. Let's go crush it. Excited to see you guys at some conferences coming up.
Solid. Solid. Those of you where this is your very first Champ Club, wow. What an intro. What an intro. Majority of you, I know that you've attended, whether it was Ben's yesterday, you've been on for the last couple of weeks, but if this is your first time, the rest of you know the drill. Go ahead and open up your phone. So I should see everybody's phone. Yes. You're going to find your team WhatsApp. Yes. And I'd like you to look back through. I know it's hard to just pick two or three, but I'd like you to identify your top 2 to 3 takeaways and post that in your team WhatsApp group. I know for me, I'll personally share definitely the CEPS. I've heard Matt speak on this concept before, but broken down into those 4 words, I'm like, wow, how am I shifting somebody's perspective and handling their objections? So that was money. That was money. Quality questions. Well, quality sales. Does anyone feel a call to share this morning on their takeaway verbally, not just in your WhatsApp group? No pressure. I won't
Yeah, I
obligate
was just
anybody,
one of my
but
takeaways for sure. Definitely the CEPS, clarify, emphasize permission and solution, as well as slow down and use
mm,
quality questions. Quality questions equal to quality sales, as well as I can write up $1,000 order without putting a single knife on the order. That's very key. Most people do forget that, we sell a lot more stuff than knives. So, just master your body language and don't let your customers dictate your results. Those are
Love
my
that, 10K.
top
Love
ones.
that. Anyone else want to share?
Yeah, I
Yeah, great
think
share.
I really liked how you shared about like customizing the order towards like what the customer's needs are and kind of going off the script of like the main three sets and like really like it's me and you against Coco and kind of like working with them to like fit their needs in the kitchen, even if it kind of means like drifting away from those main three sets or like some of the other options that are like provided.
Love it. I do want to clarify on that real quick. Still stay on the script and use the
Mhm.
sets first. And then once you have it into objection, make the customizing a solution to their problem.
Yeah.
Because the prepackaged sets are still the best deal for
Yeah,
everyone, right?
100%.
But sometimes you do have to go off that after the fact in objection. So just making sure we don't jump in the house and be like, all right, let's build you a set, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah, that's great. That's
cool.
great advice. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Share. Thanks for sharing, Mike.
Love that. Love that. Well,
I'm glad that I'm in most of these chats and I can see these.
while what Matt covered this morning was excellent, as you all know, it wouldn't be too valuable if we don't take it and put it into action. So we are going to launch into our phone jam here in just a second. Car is going to pull up some music. He's going to pull up our phone jam board. I'd like everyone to look up here for just a second. I know you're rapidly typing in your WhatsApp chats, but everybody do this. I should see your hands. If you're on your phone today, put it down. Show me your hands. Yep, 10. Minimum 10 calls this morning. Minimum 10 calls. However, the mission is that everybody leaves with at least 2 booked up this morning. So let's say, Michael, you're on a hot streak and you make 10 calls.